Hey everybody, I'm the Padre, and this is the Pritch. And this show's called the Pritch and Padre.
All right.
Because you get top billing.
Here we go.
As I said before, once we're arrested, I want you to be there. You got too many friends in law enforcement, so I know I'm done. No, we're here with this little podcast, just talking about things in life, and hopefully to give some hope and some inspiration and a few laughs and smiles, because there are too few of those in the world.
Yeah, right? We need that right now. I mean, people are pretty lonesome right now, needing it a lot.
And, we don't like to really talk about topical things, because this podcast may last more than a week, right? So, but, Russia doing what they're doing in Europe is just amazing, and it's hard to figure out why in the world this kind of thing happens. But I thought we would take another subject today, and I'm going to give you a definition, Michael, and you tell me what it means.
All right.
A feigning of beliefs, feelings, virtues that one does not hold or possess in sincerity.
Oh. Hypocrisy.
Right. You get a candy bar.
I could while away the hours, smelling all the flowers, if I only had a brain. Anyway.
Hypocrisy is obviously another Greek word, but originally it meant an actor.
Wow.
Someone who wasn't sincere at all, and, just living a life and making up things. Now it's a pejorative term now, which we don't like to associate ourselves
What's
with.
pejorative again?
Well, that
Go ahead. Never mind.
that means your feet are smelling really bad. No, pejorative, of course you know what it means.
Yes.
Anyway, turn your phone off. We don't need any disturbance. We got ourselves to disturb
Mi
each
dispiace,
other.
Monsignore. Mi
And we
dispiace.
are both disturbing people anyway. So to get back to that without sincerity, I don't know if you know this, but the word sincerity comes from the Latin sine charis, which means without wax. And the word came from the Romans were conquering the world, and they went to Greece, and they started stealing all their marble statues and bringing them back to Rome, putting them in the Colosseum. And the Greeks finally wised up, and they said, let's not give them the marble statues. Make a hole in these and fill it with wax so it's heavy, just like a regular marble statue.
Wow.
So then the Romans finally caught on after a couple of them fell and broke. He said, we want statues sine charis, without wax, or sincere, real, true, honest marble statues.
This is why I hang out with. He teaches me stuff, right?
But don't use any of this.
Okay, all right.
Unless it's at home, with your grandson.
Well, when he looks at me and goes, oh. He's 5 already, going on 37, going, no. Never
Grandpa,
mind.
be funny.
Yeah, never mind, Grandpa.
Anyway, we got hypocrisy, and sometimes you get led into it, and you're not, you don't mean to be hypocritical, but you can get caught into that world.
Right.
And it's such a terrible thing to be called a hypocrite. And
well, I think that what's amazing is when you think of acting, I think of the 2 jokes I used to tell Robin Williams all the time. One was in this Pinocchio. Pinocchio has Jiminy Cricket, who's his conscience, walking across the screen, and he goes, oh, well, Pinocchio doesn't want me around. He's gone off to be an actor. And what does an actor need with a conscience anyway? Isn't that good?
Yeah.
And then the other one was Five-O Moskowitz, because Steven Spielberg did a great cartoon called Five-O Goes to America. And he's standing there and he goes, "Why, look over there, mother, that man is an actor." And she goes, "Whack! Haven't I told you not to stare at people less fortunate than you?" So when I think of acting, it's they're paid to be insincere, and you can gain the skill set to become really good at that. That could work really well with undercover agents and spies. That could work with politicians. That could
And does.
and well, no, they're very honest. Why are you laughing?
Because it's all right.
I love catching.
Yeah.
Anyway, but what do you think that is regarding sin on a scale of 1 to 10? Insincerity, duplicitous, disingenuous stuff, and hypocrisy. You're saying one thing and doing another. What does that cost a soul?
Well, I guess it depends on the circumstances.
Sure.
What the particular arena in which you find yourself being hypocritical about something. We have that expression. What is it? Painting the kettle black. What is it?
Yeah.
What
the kettle calling the teapot black.
Yeah, right. The kettle doing this. So
yeah,
and throwing rocks at
people in
glass houses, and you live there. And the scripture, when Jesus goes into the temple and finds out all these guys are using the temple,
gets angry.
Yeah, not only but he said, "You hypocrites," and he called them whited sepulchres.
A brood of vipers.
A brood of vipers. He had all these names, which if you did the historical context on them, they're pretty good. And you care about you don't care about what's on the inside. You only care about
the external,
how things look. And that's why that Mercedes commercial, maybe in the last 4 or 5 years, it's real. What did they say about it? Anyway, it shouldn't be.
It's okay, but I mean, you're saying in modern advertising, they're aware of the circumstances of putting on the front, and behind it is a sad, decaying situation, but it looks good as we come across it, right? So how do we approach that hypocrisy in the other people as good Catholics and good spiritual people? I mean, this is like I try to help people, especially children, because they'll go to church on Sunday with mom and dad, but on Monday they're bullying somebody. Yeah. And recently we've had a recent rash of an uptick, a huge uptick here locally, Father, of anti-Semitism issued out into the community. And as I say to them, think now.
Did you see one of those, by the way?
Yeah.
That little plastic bag?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah. Oh. And the police are they're trying to figure it out because it's hardcore right-wing, angry, visceral, toxic folks putting out poisonous attacks on folks that are Jewish. And, this guy's John that we talked about last week, who wrote a book about it, and our local guy from ADL, Seth, these are wonderful young educators for our kids in the community to say, hey, we must intervene, confront, and enlighten with the kids so that poison does not take hold. But that's the problem. With hypocrisy comes that poison that can root itself into a community, right?
I like to use, about myself, not you, would a blind person like you? Now, you and I see people we like. We see they've got great hair, they look good, they're well taken care of, they're in good shape, their clothes are this way or that way, and we make judgments and decisions on what they look like.
Right.
and without opening their mouth
Right.
or without you having read a bio or something on somebody. And we make those decisions about so many athletes and entertainers. And as you said, the people who are paid to be hypocritical, I've never heard that expression before, but I'll use it.
Good.
And it's true. So a blind person would have to go by your voice, and you would, if they liked you, it would be because, oh, this person has a gentle voice, or they're saying things that I like. I don't, so many people vote for someone because you were just telling me about that congresswoman because she's young or something, and she looks good. A lot of people get votes because they look good.
Yeah. Right.
Or they get a vote in our democracy based on
Appearances, right?
Yeah, who their family was.
Right.
But would a blind person like you? It's a pretty good. It's a pretty good way to take a deeper look at yourself and say, "Am I being kind and gentle, or am I using too much of my authority, the gifts that I have from having an education?" And that really is a thing that bothers me a lot, because everybody doesn't have the opportunity to go to school the way you and I have.
Well, that authenticity, that authenticity has to be steeped in Solomonic wisdom. That you don't have to be intellectually superior to anybody, but soul-wise and emotion-wise, you can be a loving spirit who realizes the importance of, of having a heart towards and compassion towards suffering and the sadness that's going on around the world globally, right?
Yeah, right.
How do we find that authenticity?
Well, let's see. I became a priest not because I thought it would be good fire insurance. Someone said that to me. Have you ever heard that?
No, but I love it.
This guy became a priest because he thought he wasn't going to go to hell. So it was like fire insurance, Who buys fire insurance?
Well, it wasn't a fireman, was it?
Yeah. I just lost a good fireman friend last week.
Yeah, Chief.
So I have a service next week.
Yeah.
Anyway, you go a long time trying to be as honest and true as you possibly can, and then one day, for some reason or another, you get cornered and you come up a little short, and all of a sudden you find yourself doing something dishonest or insincere.
Right.
And it's always another one of these fast little things. If you tell the truth, the best thing about it is you don't have to remember what you said.
What you said, yeah. But the other thing is that when people who have occupations do this sometimes to keep things like right now, this is what's happening in the world, and this is what's happening in the real world, and it's not that the church isn't real world, but right now on the internet, people can lie, attack, destroy reputations, and destroy human beings, not knowing that they're calling them out on their hypocrisy, they're calling them out on their duplicitous or disingenuous nature, not knowing in their background there's something they have done that they need to protect for their family and friends, safety, wellness. And, when you have folks who destroy people for sport, and this is what's happening in the world, they're destroying people for sport in politics. And when you see folks who use that attack, that's the stuff that they don't. In other words, like I try to tell people, the people who are in Alcoholics Anonymous, people who have been in witness protection, people who have been domestic violence folks that are hiding out from, and we're familiar with these situations for sure in our lives. We see these things in the parish that we live in, and you have to hide those things. And then people will do damage to destroy what they feel is hypocrisy in their self-important login for truth. And you must admit that this happens. And they've then caused a domestic violence girl to be put at exposure to a narcissistic, sociopath, crazy guy. And this is the stuff that in law enforcement you have to adjust yourself to really start to think. And as a Catholic protector, with a prayer daily, as I wake in the morning to St. Michael the Archangel, you pray for his guidance to help you protect the innocent, the vulnerable, the weak, the sad, those who are being taken advantage of by very smart people who are capable of putting this all out there as a way to destroy somebody. And that's the thing that I think that we, as a nation, you have to flip a coin.
All right, here's another pop quiz for you.
Anything.
Walter Cronkite.
Right, love him.
What years was he CBS big? Was it the 60s?
Oh yeah, he started 63. He was there. He covered the Kennedy assassination. He covered World War II. He actually parachuted in with guys as a correspondent in World War II. When he came back, he was the voice, the mellifluous and strong voice that was wisdom.
So I read where Walter Cronkite is the most trusted person in our country during his time.
Right.
And which brings me to the two words, fake news.
Right.
You know, since 1960 or whatever it was.
Right. Yeah.
Just these many years later, we have people putting out news stories that aren't true.
Not only deceitful and lies, but they're destroying, like when they start to destroy human spirits and cause suicides, depression, we're seeing isolation and schizophrenia from these things, Father Harry. Yeah. We're seeing isolation that when they isolate, they self-isolate, it increases their cynicism level, which causes a detachment. And in both Sweden and Norway, they've studied this, and they found that cynicism leads to dementia.
Really?
Yes, yeah. Oh. And so, non-believer, you don't trust people. Yeah. You don't trust friendships. You don't trust your neighbors, your friends. And that's that breakdown of trust where we in the spiritual community can offer our truth, our light, our symbolic compassion to keep them connected to the greater good. Tell the truth.
What's your name again?
It's almost too real, folks. If you only knew. So, but truly, if you read that up, and guess who has? This is no attack on our Christianity, but the Baha'i. The Baha'i faith, the one world, one people, wonderful people out of Iran, have a wonderful medicine on the internet to tell you how to combat that cynicism with belief and commitment to belief. That's why when I said to the kid, he goes, "We're millennials. We live in a constant state of anticipation." Well, how do we build hope in anticipation? Everything bad happens to our generation. Everything bad. So why bother, right? It's like almost too Charlie Brown, right? And so you young folks, listen. Build the world that you want to live in. Be the medicine you want to become to help others in your community, in your generation. Love yourself enough to be authentic and love yourself enough to be a compassionate person, because this cynicism is what takes us away from it, the hypocrisy. We see so many who do this, but now truly, and I swear to you this is true, on the internet, and this is what top tech executives have to get. Wake up, folks. Eventually, this comes back as a boomerang, emotional boomerang to you. If your community doesn't believe in your company, your employees don't believe in your company, eventually that comes back to you. You're not trusted. You're not engaged. You're being sued. You're being named in the lawsuit. Hello. Think now. Think.
So I haven't had the internet for almost 2 weeks.
Wow. What was that like?
Well, I'm trying to think. Maybe it's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I got off all the social media before. The only way anybody can get a hold of me is on this thing and my email. That's it. Because the poison was so toxic. It wasn't just impacting me. I saw what it was doing to the kids.
Oh.
The kids were, when you get them to talk about it, they become, when they're ripped apart on the internet. I told a story one day. This is how smart the little ones are. I believe they're sent to save us by God. I believe that, you know. I had a little 5-year-old, and he was sitting there, and his mom was on the cell phone. She's like 28. She's got 2 babies. He's 5, and the baby is 2. And she's like this, and he goes, Mom. And I want to, ma'am, address your kid. She goes, what, Kevin? And he goes, you look into that phone screen more than you do baby Patrick's eyes.
Whoa.
She burst into tears, put the phone away, and just sat there for a minute thinking. And she was sniffling. I didn't say anything. I didn't involve. But when a 5-year-old is emotionally wiser than his mom and is bringing her hypocrisy, Mom, be a mom. He's helping her parent. He's 5. I believe that we have a generation coming to save us from ourselves. That would be a hopeful, prophetic statement, but I believe that. Truly, I do, Father.
Well, I learned to despise Google.
Why?
And Google's kind of a funny name, you know. Hey, Google. Hey, Google. Hey, Google's got a big old building down there. They got all kinds of little machines that go, sorry, your password doesn't work. Boo, boo, boo.
I want a T-shirt.
Sorry, you're an idiot or what, you know.
Well, I want a T-shirt that says...
Sorry, we have no live Google people. There's no one you can talk to find out what your password might have been a couple of weeks ago and how come we can't get you. But in a week, we'll know.
Well, you know, picture that you should have a T-shirt that says, when I'm all alone, I Google myself. And so I think, you know, you like when you're bored, you go, hey, what was I doing last month? So if you picture, all right, that, and yet at the same time, I was stunned that they own everything. Did you know that?
I didn't, but I'm not surprised.
They own your...
They don't have any human beings working there.
Yeah, they do. They're wonderful human beings. But the thing is, if you look at them, if you have pictures up, they can use them.
Oh, yeah.
If you have statements up, they can bring your emotional archaeology of something you said in... this is what's coming back. Many of the comedians are facing things that they said previously that were considered inappropriate, and it's come back to haunt them. And man, does anybody want to, not you in particular, think about things that you said when you were younger?
Right. Yeah. Be.
But that's why I one of my favorite things was I told them when it reaches a point where we're so politically correct that, Father, I started laughing because I missed my friend Robin Williams, and they said, we're not going to have Elmer Fudd have a shotgun anymore in the cartoons.
Oh, poor bunny rabbit.
Well, no,
Wabbits.
I wanted to pick up the phone and go, please. Please, release me, let me go, for I want my shotgun for the show. Robin, why did they take my shotgun, Robin? Because I know he would have laughed. He would have done 20 more minutes on Elmer Fudd and the rabbit. Come on, of that silly
Wabbit.
little rabbit. I'm about to blow you away. So,
Well,
we've been pretty silly this morning.
no, we haven't. No, you're using "we" as
I have a mouse in my
when
pocket.
we say Pritch and the Padre. So we just we're here trying to share some laughter and good humor about things that are not easy to swallow or
Right.
problems that are part of your daily life.
Yeah.
And so we're not quoting scripture, and we're not giving you philosophical. Well, I take that back. The Pritch gives you philosophical things to live by, and more importantly, things to suffer by. Right?
We all, hey, as Buddha would say, all life is suffering. Try to minimize it, and just be real. When I had the Buddhist monks were sitting at Disney. When I went down to Disney, I took Katie down, and they were all sitting there, and they go, "Why are you so happy?" I go, "Because I saw you guys at Disney. You guys were riding with me." And he goes, "Oh, yes." And he goes, "What do you do at Disney?" I go, "I make stupid noises." And then I had to do all the voices. Then they were there, and Katie was 10. She goes,
Oh yeah, no, he's
she's
not
like
gonna do it.
always, no.
It's like me on an airplane with you.
"Oh,
No, I
remember-
don't know him. I don't know him.
Yeah, we were on our way to Denver to see the Pope, right? But
You were entertaining the entire plane.
well, it's fun to have fun. But
Yeah.
but when I started to do this was cool. He goes, "Can you do an imitation of a Buddhist monk?" I go, "Sure." And they all join in and they start singing. And they're all doing the chant.
And no one said, "Yeah, that's a dumbbell."
No, well, that went without saying. That was kind of like you understood in diagramming a sentence. You understood. Pritchard is not smart like the other kids at the seminary. We'll find a way to get him gone so Harry can go on.
We need the money. Oh, well.
Man.
So there is hypocrisy, and
What's the best way do you think? Because you have to deal with it. And, I love you, but, our church and our faith has been accused.
oh man,
So, how do we combat it to the point where we touch people's hearts and spirits and souls and keep them connected to the bigger truth?
well, the secret for me, of course, is when you use the word heart,
Right.
and all of these other things. If it doesn't come from the heart, then it's suspect.
Right.
Everything you do is suspect if it doesn't come from the heart.
Right.
And it may be begun somewhere else. It may be encouraged in another camp or another set of people. But if you're just in it for the money, or you're in it for your fame or your personal
Aggrandizement. Yeah. Right.
what's that word?
Aggrandizement.
Uh,
I went to college at Cape Girardeau.
Yeah, I know you did. Yeah. Enough said. Oh, shoot.
Well, I have to tell you that sharing time with my little grandson, I gave a $5 bill to a homeless guy, and I said, "Have a good day, Jesus." And I rolled the window up. I said, "Do something good with that, not something bad. No cigarettes or booze." And the 5-year-old's in the back seat goes, "Grandpa, that wasn't Jesus." I go, "But he was Jesus to me today, okay?" And so I keep driving. I go to the light. He goes, "Grandpa?" I go, "Yeah, I get it." I go, "Oh,
Oh, good.
that's what I say."
Did the guy have a beard?
Oh,
Sandals?
he had. Oh, he
looked apart?
He was in his 70s. He had been down a hard road of life, suffering. Right, you could see.
Ridden hard and put away.
Oh man, the poor guy. I can't imagine. The only thing that would accommodate a description. He was like a Three Stooges sway back old horse, when they walk up and go, yeah, what happened to him?
And with that, we'll sign. See you again at the next podcast.
Yes.
It's the Pritch and the Padre.
God bless, folks. Take care of yourselves. We love you.